This Pitch Breakfast video is brought to you by Spangler and Agins, attorneys for Charlotte's startup community.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. Let's crank this thing up. Let's get it going. I am Brandon Terrell, and I'm the founder of nomADic Technologies. Currently, nomADic Technologies is a mobile advertising network. For developers, our application program interface is listed directly on our website, www.trynomadic.com, for you to integrate directly into your business's mobile application. These ads replicate your user interface and user experience and is available for all mobile applications seeking a leaner way to add advertising to your revenue model. Currently, we have 12 integrations, have served over 65 ads, have 4 unique ad formats over 3 open platforms. Through our relationships with transportation entities, colleges and universities, sport teams, and venues, we've been able to offer developers earnings across all of our ad formats. Now let's be frank, our current business model is no new phenomenon, and as a lot of you know, there are several players in the mobile ad space. So our team has had to look for mobile channels that mirror the format. A mobile format that is easily integrated, open to APIs, and has great potential to scale. It was there we discovered that virtual reality mirrors the mobile format. Virtual reality is the future of not just gaming, but how we'll all watch live sports and broadcasts. And this isn't something that's happening in the future, it's happening today. Google recently announced that its Cardboard headset mobile application has been downloaded by over 15 million users, which has greatly outpaced last year's expectations, and that number is scheduled to reach 100 million by year 2020. So with virtual reality ramping up and catching steam, currently money is made only 1 or 2 ways in virtual reality, which is either by the sale of the hardware device or the sale of the application. nomADic solves this problem directly. When watching live sports in broadcasts of virtual reality, fans want to replicate the stadium experience, yet lack the resources to do so. So with APIs available for merchandising, logistics, messaging, and even payments, imagine watching your favorite sports team in virtual reality and being able to order craft beer from Brew Public or food from Chipotle delivered directly to your door by Postmates or Uber Rush. If you haven't experienced virtual reality, I highly encourage you to visit our demo and familiarize yourself with the future of how we'll all watch sports. So what this looks like for advertisers and what's a huge differentiating factor for us is an impression-based model which works better across this channel than a fee-based or a commission-based model. So what we do is go to advertisers and say for $100 or so, we could put you in front of thousands of qualified users. So over that use case, we've seen advertisers sell 7 units per 1,000 views, which breaks down to a huge cost saving for the advertiser and really doesn't touch their margin and is a really great sales tool. My team consists of me. I'm the founder. I have a background in marketing, advertising, and sales. My longtime colleague and partner, Brittany Bean, currently works in advertising with Warner Brothers, producing movie trailers for social media and for mobile. And our developer, Ralph Duguay, is a recent graduate from Florida State University with a degree in computer science, and he has a very extensive background in gaming. We validated our assumptions, and we're currently doing a lot of market analysis. We're seeking $125,000 for further development of the product. We're also looking to hire experienced ad developers for content of virtual reality, and we also want to do an aggressive marketing campaign. I thank you for your time. I'll be available after the presentation for discussions and available all week for meetings. Again, I'm Brandon with nomADic Technologies, and thanks for listening. All right. Thank you.
So you're getting in between the content and the user, right? By serving ads and giving opportunities to click on potential companies and order things?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's still very early stage, but there's a huge opportunity to offer the developers of the virtual reality technology with these ads that allow them to make money, but allow the consumer, which is you and I, the individuals that'll be watching these broadcasts, with the potential to be able to purchase products and have that fan experience while we're having that personal interaction.
So are you allowed to do that? The people who are broadcasting the event or the game or whatever, are they not owners of that channel?
Well, it's very fragmented, right? So you've got the networks like NBC, ESPN, they're getting into virtual reality. However, they're giving the developers of these mobile applications vantage points within the stadium for them to build their own application. So what we're going to do is go to those developers and say, hey, we've got ad content that we want to place into your application that allows you to make money. We'll provide them with like an impression-based model where we commission them out. And for the consumer, it allows them to be able to use those services like, again, the demo, the presentation doesn't really do the concept justice. You really need to be able to interact with it. What we've tested is, as I showed in the display, a virtual suite where me and my buddies could all be watching sports broadcasts from different locations. And if we were to place an ad for like Brew Public or Chipotle, and I wanted to send a six-pack of craft beer to my buddy, I could do that from within the headset and have it delivered to his house.
Right. Yeah, I wish Garth was here because Garth was the one that was supposed to be here. He had a similar business where it was second screen or other screen. But anytime you get in between, the large providers and you start to prove out a revenue model, what's to keep them from saying, hey, that's a great idea, we're going to serve up our own stuff?
Yeah, I think it's very early stage, and I don't think the first mover or even having the right partnership is going to be the big win here. I just think whoever does it right and has the best experience.
So are you purely going into virtual reality space? Is that?
Well, we're still working in the mobile space, so if anybody does have a mobile application that would like to generate revenue through advertising, I am here to help. However, we do see a huge potential in virtual reality, and that is why I would like to set out into the future.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Just really quick, you said there's an investment opportunity. What is the structure of that? It's $100,000 for what?
Yeah, well, we are looking for opportunities to provide an equity stake. We could convert that note. I think for us doing this impression-based model, we can monetize and capture value early and be able to, pay back on that investment. But $125,000 is just to help us move the needle. It's more of a traction point. But we would say a 10-15% equity stake would be.
Okay, so it's a convertible note at 10 or 15% coupon on it. Okay.
About the audience, questions? Yes.
Somebody's in this space.
That's great.
The content providers, okay, you're saying, well, they just give their developers. The developer works for me, and he starts putting his own taste in my product. I'm not eating off it, he's gone.
Right.
So how does that work?
Well, initially what we would want to identify is a team of developers that could collaborate with a few small test customers. From there we would allow them to see what works best for them. So Brittany brought a very interesting point. Oftentimes when you've got a movie provider and then you've got the studio, they go back and forth about which content they think will be more appealing to the potential customer. And for us, we haven't really found that sweet spot yet, so that's a really great question. It's something that we're still trying to identify. So as of now, I think it's probably finding somebody who's going to, entrust us with that ability to say, hey, we could place this content in the best place for your business and see what kind of return it gets for you.
Yeah, because for me, if you came to me, because I think the developer space is great, it's, you need to go after that. But I'm the guy who, if you tell me you're going to add this to my bottom line, I'm telling my developers to do it. So I think that direction for me is better than the developer space. And yes, it's an API, so I get
Right.
that, but we're good. I like it.
Thank you.
Content's king.
Do you know who NFL is working with, or are they jumping this round?
Yeah, so there are a dozen or so players out. The NFL specifically is the first mover on this. Most recently, and the reason why we've pivoted to this point, around the Super Bowl, they had the first and future pitch competition for virtual reality companies, how to change the future of how we'll watch sports from home, how we'll change the future of how players interact with technology, so on and so forth. And there was an extensive list of providers. We were accepted to go and demo. Obviously, we weren't in a position to go and do that, but the companies that pitched, I think having a relationship with them early on while they're still very lean gives us the opportunity to at least get a foot in the door. But as of right now, it's really fragmented. It's so early stage. That's why I'm really excited about the potential, because there isn't a huge barrier to entry.
More? Any more? Yeah, right here.
Seems like you could potentially start generating some consulting service revenue like level to build up and fund the kind of automated technology piece by maybe helping, media companies understand the virtual reality advertising space or something along those lines, and running some campaigns for some companies.
Hey, I'm all for it, man. Let's connect after.
Other questions? Or do y'all want to put into that conversation? Yes. Hey.
Hey, love your energy. Good job.
Thank you.
Don't understand virtual reality, admittedly. It's very new. I'm curious as to the cost per impression model and how dedicated you are to that model. Within performance marketing, there's been a move toward performance, so per click, per customer.
Right.
And can you talk a little bit about what we can do Chipotle or we can do Republic, and maybe there's interactions there that maybe we might be able to monetize the action versus the CPM model where some of the industries go.
Yeah, absolutely. Great point, and I think that is a great future approach. The reason why we're not necessarily married to the impression-based model, however, as I mentioned, it does allow us to capture value early and not really have to worry about conversion. When we say that the users are there, right? You've got 15 million or so users just for one headset. When we put advertisers in front of that many people, and we've seen historically where an advertiser may move about 7 units per 1,000 views, that's a really great conversion, no matter what the model is. So I do feel if we could scale into fee-based, commission-based, that could help us on the back end. But early on, we want to approach advertisers with the budget and say, hey, we've got $15,000, right? We want to be a first mover in virtual reality. And for a company like Republic or Chipotle, that really doesn't touch their margin and is a great sales tool for them because they're not having to spend a lot of wasted advertising dollars in a channel that's really not going to show them a return.
I'm just thinking about it. I think you have a pretty engaged user that's going to exist in virtual reality, and then you also have the opportunity to differentiate yourself from these other advertising space. What do you bring that's unique and differentiated in that maybe?
Okay. Well, I need 5 minutes with you and you after this.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.